Despite Transformers Animated's early cancellation, many creative forces at Hasbro still hold the show in great adoration and have gone out of their way to include little visual nods and references to the series. Going in chronological order through the years, here is every reference to Transformers Animated in other media. The first reference occurred in June of 2008, when comic artist Nick Roche drew cover B of Transformers Spotlight Cyclonus in the style of Transformers Animated. Notably, Cyclonus hadn't even appeared in the animated series yet at this time. Later in Transformers All Hail Megatron issue 16 from 2009, Ratchet is drawn with animated Ratchet's electrocardiogram shoulder symbol. These are just the beginning of the Transformers Animated references spread across IDW publishing. In the Shattered Glass Transformers timeline story Blitzwing Bop from the Transformers Collectors Club, SG Jetstorm goes by the moniker Stormbringer 99. The Stormbringer is the name of the Magnus Hammer, as stated in the bio of the Roadbuster Ultra Magnus repaint. This may be a reference to Jetstorm and Ultra Magnus's shared status as elite guardsmen. However, the term Stormbringer has had many other uses across the franchise, so it may be a coincidence. In fact, now that I say it all out loud, the mere notion of this being a reference is the most ridiculous. The next reference occurred later in 2009, when the TFA original character Dirt Boss got a figure in the Revenge of the Fallen toy line, and received a brief appearance in issue 2, 3, and 4 of the Nefarious Companion comics from 2010. Also in 2010, 3 more Transformers Animated original characters leaped into other continuities. Lockdown received a toy in the Revenge of the Fallen toy line, as well as tie-in roles in the Cyber Mission web series.
When will you learn, Ratchet? Science will not win this war.
And Nefarious comic miniseries alongside Dirt Boss. The same year, this Hunt for the Decepticons design was used as the basis for Lockdown's IDW incarnation, in which he was a bounty hunter pursuing Drift in the Drift miniseries and a Titan hunter in More Than Meets the Eye a few years later. In issue 2 of that Drift miniseries, a generic bot appears resembling Lugnut. However, this is not intended to be Lugnut. But, while we're on that subject, Lugnut received a Voyager figure in the Reveal the Shield subline, which was adapted as his appearance in the new Aligned continuity, where he played a minor role in the novel Exodus. Later, the same body became his basis in the first major IDW continuity in 2012, where Lugnut played a minor role in Autocracy before receiving a redesign in More Than Meets the Eye. Slipstream joined Lugnut in the Aligned continuity and played a role in the Exodus novels. Slipstream soon earned a G1 counterpart. However, unlike Lugnut and Lockdown, she had no comic roles or other significant media appearances to back her up. Late in 2010, the next Transformers series after Animated debuted, Transformers Prime, which took a number of inspirations from Transformers Animated. Ratchet's overly grumpy attitude, original to Animated, made the jump to Prime. So did Bumblebee's status as an impatient daredevil teenager, which is a trait that had originally belonged to Hotshot, not Bumblebee, until Transformers Animated combined their characterizations. Most notably, however, the Transformers Animated original character Bulkhead joined the main cast. Prime Bulkhead also appeared in 2015's Robots in Disguise, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Prime Bulkhead went on to inspire 2011's Dark of the Moon Bulkhead, 2013's IDW Bulkhead, and whatever this is. Bulkhead Knuckle, Arms Micron, okay. Transformers Animated frequently called episodes Blank Rising, Megatron Rising, Predacons Rising, and Rise of the Constructicons, for example. Transformers Prime continued this trend with their 5-part opener, Darkness Rising. In the Transformers Timeline story, a team effort from the Transformers Collectors Club, a bot named Sprocket claims to have trained under Yokotron, a character exclusive to Transformers Animated. The other characters in the comic quickly call him out as having made that up. In 2011, things slowed down. In the Transformers issue 16, Megatron's new body takes design influences from 2008's Shadow Blade Megatron repaint. Returning to Transformers Prime now, Miko draws a picture of animated Optimus and animated Megatron in the Prime episode Shadow Zone. In 2012, the Transformers Prime episode Armada sees Starscream activate a legion of clones, which mirrors a major storyline from Season 2 of Transformers Animated. In the 2012 video game Fall of Cybertron, a modification to Path Blasters makes them fueled by Destronium. Destronium was introduced in the TFA episode Nanosec.
That's unstable Destronium!
In Transformers Timelines number 7, humans resembling Sari Sumdac and her father are seen in the crowd running away from an evil Ultra Magnus. And more humans have been drawn resembling Sari Sumdac. Derek J. Wyatt, the Transformers animated art director, began work on Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated after Animated's cancellation. There, he specifically based the appearance of a Crystal Cove extra after Sari Sumdac. Derek didn't stop there. He soon began work on Ben 10 Omniverse, as well as Marty Eisenberg, David Kay, and countless other crew members from Animated. I hear they're very similar shows, but I've never seen it, so I'll pass the mic to my collaborator, Gloria720p.
To start, Fergie from Season 1 is modeled after Sari Sumdac. In the Season 1 episode The More Things Changed, Part 2, Lockdown's hook and Grimlock's sword appear as trophies on Kyber's ship. These later reappear in Season 1's finale of Predators and Prey Part 1 and Part 2.
Wow, it sure sounded like he was having fun. Don't worry, he'll be back as we go further in our chronological deep dive. The Transformers Prime Season 2 episode Out of the Past sees Shockwave attempt to forcibly extract some codes from RC, reminiscent of Transformers Animated Season 3 finale. We are still in 2012, which was a tremendous year for animated references. This year, the IDW comic continuity entered what many fans consider the Transformer comic golden age, with 2 ongoing series called More Than Meets the Eye and Robots in Disguise. Get it? More Than Meets the Eye in particular loved referencing Animated, and 2 of these occurred in 2012. In issue 7, the character Fulcrum has an unusually large chin, and that is reflected in dialogue many times. Truly a spiritual successor to Sentinel Prime. In a far less debatable homage, Quark is deliberately modeled after Animated Perceptor. Wrapping up 2012, Prime Smokescreen is a member of the Elite Guard, and the organization has gone on to feature in many continuities since. Later, in the Prime Season 2 finale Darkest Hour, Megatron tells his forces,
Decepticons! Transform and rise up!
a line coined by Transformers Animated.
Decepticons! Transform and rise up!
In 2013's Spotlight Trail Cutter, unnamed bots appear resembling Animated Lugnut and Animated Blitzwing. This is the 3rd bot in the IDW continuity modeled after Lugnut.
The character Bullfrag, introduced in Season 3, is designed with identical sunglasses to Animated Soundwave and Prowl, although this may just be a similar design choice rather than a homage.
That word's pronounced homage. Imagine getting that wrong. Alex is such a loser. Speaking of the Magnus Hammer, in Season 3 of Transformers Prime, Ultra Magnus gets a hammer as his primary weapon, the Drained Forge of Solus Prime. In the 2013 Timeline's preview comic, Timeless, from the Transformers Collectors Club, an aligned version of Oil Slick is stated to exist. In the Prime episode -1, Bulkhead and Smokescreen's conversation about the captive Soundwave is directly derivative of a conversation between Bulkhead and Sumdac in Transformers Animated regarding a Headmaster unit.
It's like he's watching, no matter where you go.
That thing is staring at me. It's as if its eyes are following me wherever I go.
And then, Prime ended with the film Predacons Rising, which shares its name with the animated episode and ties back to the first episodes of Transformers Prime, Darkness Rising.
The Helix workers share some similarities with Mixmaster and Scrapper. In the Season 4 episode Max's Monster, a construction vehicle is colored like Mixmaster and Scrapper as well.
Love that enthusiasm, Alex. An Autobot named Meltdown appears in the 2014 Transformers Universe game. However, this seems more like an instance of Hasbro maintaining the trademark rather than an intentional homage. Also in Transformers Universe, Autotroopers appear, the generic Autobot infantry from Transformers Animated. There's also a Decepticon called Pandemic. Interesting foreshadowing. In 2014's More Than Meets the Eye issue 30, The Magnus Hammer leaps into the IDW continuity as Ultra Magnus wields it during the trial of Megatron. In the Combiner Wars crossover event between More Than Meets the Eye's sister series Robots in Disguise and the new Windblade miniseries, Nova holds the rank of Major prior to becoming a Prime. Major is first established as a rank beneath Prime in the Allspark Almanac.
In Season 6, Episode 2, Collect This, a Leader Class bulkhead figure appears on Ben's shelf in the background. In the next episode, The Vengers, a recolored version of Porter C. Powell's limo appears, and a construction worker is modeled after Sparkplug Witwicky. The Season 5 villain Lord Transil and the Season 6 villain Cervantes share physical similarities to Mindwipe.
Man, imagine knowing that much pointless information. What a nerd, am I right? I couldn't even imagine. Anyways, in Transformers Regeneration 1, Issue 93, Destiny Part 3, and Issue 100, The War to End All Wars Part 5, Rodimus Prime has visions of himself from multiple different Universal streams, among which is animated Rodimus. In 2014, the Transformers animated character Lockdown made his jump to the live-action film series, becoming the main villain of the 4th movie. This is something we all predicted back in 2007. According to former creative manager at Hasbro, Rick Alvarez, original plans for the movie would have seen Lance Henriksen reprise the role and included Oil Slick as the secondary villain.
We had Oil Slick, the motorcycle from Animated. We created some sick art that unfortunately is gone right now. We had always told the studio, Lance Henriksen, we really want Lance Henriksen. I even spoke to Lance. I told him, we're pushing for you. We really want you involved. And he said, yeah, I'd absolutely love to be involved in that film. But, you know, Hasbro wasn't in charge of cast or final decisions on the script.
In the Season 6 episode, Universe vs. Tennyson, Judge Domstol uses a gold version of the Magnus Hammer as a gavel. Finally, while not an animated reference, vehicles resembling G1 Jazz, Wheeljack, and Bumblebee Cybertronian forms appear in the Season 7 episode Clyde 5.
That is it for Glorious 720p. Thank you, Alex, for all that you do. His social things are on the screen or whatever. You can click on them if you want. I think that's a good stopping point for part 1. That is every Transformers animated reference between 2007 and 2014. Join us next time as we pick up every Transformers animated reference from 2015 to 2021. All of my favorites are in that half, so make sure you watch that when it comes out. So, what was your favorite reference? And do you think I missed any? Let me know down in the comments below. Was it redundant to say down and below?